The story starts in Malta because a lot of beauty products came from abroad. I came up with the idea of going abroad to learn English and work for a period of time. After earning money, I came back to open a bigger beauty salon. I applied for Canada first, but my visa was rejected during 911. It's 10 p.m. on September 25, 2021, Beijing time. Mrs. Meng Wanzhou, who has just been illegally detained in Canada for 1,028 days, accompanied by the Chinese ambassador to Canada, has just got off the plane and returned to the embrace of the motherland. It suddenly occurred to me that 911 disaster events in the United States. It was the United States prosecuted Meng Wanzhou, but Canada was worked for everything. My simple brain still doesn't understand why. Oh, let's go back to the story. At that time, I found a law firm in Guangzhou. They recommended me to Malta and gave me a brief introduction of Malta. In the picture, Malta is sunny and beautiful. The exchange rate is 1 lira to 24 RMB. One car for every 2 people. No garrison police patrolling and no need to carry guns. A beautiful and security environment. People kindness and hospitality. Almost everyone can speak English. And all kind of introduction made me full of curiosity and a good feeling about this country. So I decided to go there to realize my dream. At that time, we started to have English lessons in grade 2. I remember I got full marks every time at the beginning. I have a poor memory and I can still remember the face of my English teacher. She told us a story about a necklace. However, my father wanted me to study math and other subjects. To resist him, I didn't study English or math at all. Later, I played truant and ran away from home. It's pity I missed the golden time of study at that time. I asked the intermediary how can I go with no English. She said you need to go and learn English because you don't know it. I was able to get my visa, and I got on Emirates aircraft. We had to change planes in Dubai to Malta. I have to learn some English words such as chicken, beef, orange juice, and tomato juice before the plane. I don't know if it's because the body needs more vitamin supplements on the plane. I think it's very comfortable to drink tomato juice on the plane, which can relieve the discomfort of the plane. And the tomato juice if buy in the supermarket doesn't work. From Dubai to Malta, we took a small plane. There's some turbulence on the way down. This feeling lasted for a while and finally the plane stopped. At the moment of stop, all the passengers applauded. I was shocked to join them. I thought this might have been a harbinger of my unusual experience in Malta. As the plane was approaching Malta and circling in the sky, I saw the low building below. We're doing a lot of domestic construction at that time. There were all these new tall buildings and construction sites under construction. And I was surprised to see this, which was far from the bustling Europe I had imagined. Later, I asked Dr. Ragunisi. He is a very knowledgeable, talented, and kind old lawyer. Lena introduced him to me. He was 85 years old when I met him. He was quick-thinking and energetic. He drove to his law firm and his hotel to work every day. There were a row of warning lights on both sides of his car door to ensure safety. I remember Ren Zhengfei, the boss of Huawei, calling the police when his car broke down. The police asked him how he could drive himself when he was nearly 80 years old. He quickly apologized for causing trouble to the police. There is a Chinese saying that an old person in family is like a treasure. That's how they are. I feel that they have many similar qualities. He worked in the Maltese government until he retired. He went to Taiwan with the Maltese government to negotiate with Jiang Jieshi. I follow him to the immigration office and the court. Everyone pays highest respect for him. They consider him a history book of Malta and a witness to Malta's history. There are many Chinese ceramics and paintings in his home. He told me a lot about Malta and his family stories. A very special noble family. I feel like the plot of the movie Gone with the Wind. More importantly, he has given me a lot of help and taught me a lot of things. I have learned a lot of life philosophy and ways of understanding things from him. I will never forget his kindness to me. I asked him why didn't build tall buildings in Malta, and his answer was no need. Our population base determines that we have to build tall buildings. There are many people cannot afford to buy a house, so we cannot say no. 4 of us arrived in Malta through a law firm. We feel more professional than intermediary company. We think the professional people do professional things, but the West may not think so. In 2007, Dr. Ragonisi friend was the director of a 5-star Greek cruise ship, and she needed a massage therapist. Dr. Ragonisi recommended me to work. The ship is from Panama to Hong Kong. After the interview, she was very satisfied, said she waiting me and looking forward to seeing me soon. Then she sent me a letter to England for 2 months of English training. I was busy working and on and off I went with Maya only. So I asked Dr. Ragonisi help me to deal with the visa. The British Embassy refused my visa on the grounds. Why would I need a professional lawyer if I haven't other purposes? What? It isn't normal for professional people to do professional things? Dr. Ragonisi said to help me appeal, but I give up. Although the salary of working on cruise ship is very high, I hesitated to leave Malta for 6 months to 8 months each time, and I feel it's God's will to refuse the visa. Many friends say I'm a person who cannot make money. Give the person that had not done a visa a few suggestions. Do not worry to refuse to sign. This time refuse to sign. Supplemental result go again next time. I met 2 tourists who said they had been denied visa by China. One German lady told me that she won't go China because she wanted to visit a school but was denied a visa. The other was a French lady, but I didn't understand why she was refused. Thanks for my work. I can reach people all over the world and hear a lot of stories. But unfortunately, my English is not good enough to understand a lot of times. I first lived in Slima. Lucky to be in the home of a single, loving old lady who didn't have a cat or dog. the home right by the sea. Every morning I stand in her beautiful big glass window and look out. The picture makes people feel that they are in Wonderland. Above are clouds of various shapes as white as snow. In the middle is the calm blue Mediterranean Sea, and below are the cars and the pedestrians running through the street, which makes people forget the time and want to stay in that picture. But there is more to life than beauty, and my Chinese stomach is starting to protest, because I don't like to eat frozen food and there were few dishes to choose from. I didn't speak a word of English when I arrived in Malta. All the communication with the landlord was to ask the beautiful lady of the law firm to help me. Among the 4 people except me, all of them were good at English. Maltese doesn't like using rice cookers. They put the rice in a safe basket and steam it. Without the process of rice cooker and stuffing, the rice doesn't get its viscosity, and it's just grain by grain. They like fried rice neat grain by grain. It feels like eating rice without cooking. It's not the same substance as the rice we used to eat. But then we went to the Chinese store to buy rice and seasoning. It was much better. Now many Chinese products stored in Malta. In 2018, Jingjing and I were able to buy things like ginger, stick rice and seaweed at Walmart. But this was 2002. All Maltese vegetables are on the sweet side. Although Liuzhou is a small city, but has a rich variety of green leafy vegetables. Many of our vegetables have special astringent taste, which is what green leafy vegetables taste like. Personally, I think our green leafy vegetables do not contain sugar good to lose weight. Sometimes you can find more than a dozen different of mushrooms alone. In Malta, I learned to eat carrots, lettuce, parsley, cabbage, and a lot of other food I didn't eat before. I see a lot of northerners living in Nanning. They just complain about the hot weather but never complain about our food. The fruits in Nanning are more delicious than Liuzhou. The fruits are juicy and rich and cheaper in Nanning. The difference between vegetables and fruits is few hundred kilometers, not to mention Malta, which is 9,000 kilometers different from China. I often have cold need to boost my immunity, so I thought of eating raw onions. The first time eat it very spicy and the whole body smells of onion and it lasts for 2 days. But then I take a piece of lettuce or a piece of seaweed, put a piece of roast pork belly or beef in it, add a spoonful of rice and a piece of onion. It's delicious. I don't eat lunch then. And on the other side, my 2 little classmates, they bring sandwiches for lunch every day. But one person has to slowly pick out the dog hair from the sandwich, and one has to pick out the cat hair. I sat across from them and watched them eat. It was really funny. The happiest thing is to have pasta or spaghetti, which is my favorite staple. So I tried to buy things outside, and McDonald's became my favorite shop. At that time, everything I ate had to be converted to RMB. A hamburger be equivalent to nearly 60 RMB. A black prawn 22 RMB, and once I bought 2 tomatoes for nearly 60 RMB. After picking up Maya on the weekends, I often took her to the market in Massaslok to buy fish and vegetables. Mary couldn't understand why I go there too much. I think it was my first experience made me think that Massaslok market was the closest I could get to a Chinese market. Then I found a place where I could buy some Chinese vegetables, and I was so happy. I told Mary eating fish would make smart, and Mary said Maya was smart without fish. My 2 friends' English was very good. They in different classes. My English maybe made my teacher very upset, but she never even frowned at me. The teacher is a beautiful little girl. She began to use the way of drawing an umbrella to teach me the words of umbrella. A man and a woman hand in hand to teach me the words of marriage. The beautiful teacher like all the people I met in Malta. Not to say you were wrong when I made a mistake in English, just to read the correct sentence again, so I would know next time. This kind of education mode is very new to me. I was once corrected in public, so I don't dare to speak English in front of Chinese people. Class ended at 1 p.m. every day. I would walk along the beach in Slima and see people basking in the sun on the beach and enjoying the quiet life. Once an old car was slowly stopped. An old gentleman came down on the right, shouted to the left to open the door, and an old lady came down slowly. What I had seen on TV was unfolding in front of me, and I was surprised to eat dog food. Another time, a less beautiful woman opened her blouse to basking in the sun. Her partner looked her with tender eyes. I was really warm. I'm not saying the lady wasn't pretty. I just envied the man look in the eye which I saw for the first time. About the honorific title, it's a little bit different between East and West. In China, call old grandpa grandma it's full respect, but in English it's the opposite. Asia people call you grandpa, grandma, uncle, auntie, brother, elder sister. Please don't be angry. They are just for respect. Respect the old and care for the young is one of the important in China 5,000 years cultural tradition. But I personally prefer to call me name, not granny. I'm trying to get used to everything in Malta. The hardest part was getting around. There were few buses in Malta in 2002, but I feel a lot more buses in Malta in 2018. I would write down address on a piece of paper before going out. When I was unsure of the route, I would take out the paper and go to people who looked like local people ask to help. I got 100% help. And sometimes people would just let me get on the car and take me to the destination. I returned the favor by driving the tourists who need help and trying to get them to their destination. Maltese cars have a habit of yelling to pedestrians. Once I was looking for my way. A car stopped and waved me to cross the road. I can't explain that I don't want. In order not to delay his time, I had to cross the road first. and wait for him to drive away for a long time, return to the same place. Although he would have been wrong, I was particularly warned to think of his humility. I had a lot to get used to, a lot of things, but the kindness and the warmth of the Maltese always give me strong power that I could overcome difficulties. This feeling stayed with me throughout stay in Malta. Waiting at a bus stop in 2018, a man walked across the road and over a set of fences to tell me, "You are very beautiful." This is the Maltese passion, simple and warm. I got a message from the Chinese embassy in May 2002 to July, saying that several Chinese people would need to be extra in an American movie. I immediately recommended myself and said I could do it. When I arrived on the set, the makeup artist chose me to wear makeup and do hair. She combed 2 braids with Chinese characteristics for me. Let me stand in the front a few meters away from the leading role in the fight. Later, I told my friend that I was in an American movie and wore makeup. He mocked me. "Maybe she did it because you are too ugly to be on camera." I learned the old adage that people should not brag and keep a low profile. I remember it was an ancient drama. 2 warriors in period costume, fighting with swords. We marked wonders so than fighting and running away. My task was to run up the steps with a real plastic onions and garlic. It was a good day job with double or triple pay in holidays. It was my first job in Malta and I was happy every day. If you know this movie to provide me with information, could you tell me please? I didn't speak enough English to understand the film. Afterwards, I was too busy with other matters to inquire about it. It was the first time I heard a real American voice. A man who I don't know was the writer, director, or executive, but I knew he was in charge of calling and we start to run. Just feel his voice is very powerful. The words used are short, no extra words. People can just feel from him and get into the scene to work. There are often temporary markets in Malta. Once I was working in that temporary market. A store owner asked me to help him sell Chinese takeaway for a few days. I happily agreed. It wasn't long I moved to Massaskala. There's also a beautiful harbor. But I'm not in the mood to appreciate beauty. I have to face too many problems. I feel fetal movement she grows quickly. I ask Bodhisattva what should I do every day. She doesn't answer me. I was working as a busboy in a Chinese restaurant in Massaskala. Maltese Chinese restaurants usually start preparing materials at 5 p.m. and serve customers at 6 p.m. Usually close at 11 p.m. when there are no customers. On weekend or festival, we would have lunch at noon. At 10 a.m. in the morning, we would go to the restaurant to make preparations. We would receive customers at 12 and prepare dinner at 5 p.m. Usually we take day off at Monday. The house I rent was not far from the restaurant. When I went back at night, I had the street to myself. And I was not afraid to walk alone, but a little bit lonely. I don't like pets, but there is a black dog about the height of my knees and walks with me down the bay every night. I speak Mandarin to it. whether it understands or not, and it just quietly works with me. Maya is so different from me. She likes pets and is not afraid of large animals. It's because this. At that time, I rent a house with 3 rooms and 1 living room. When I came home at night, I feel very lonely and helpless. Sometimes I could not sleep all night and cry all the time, but the tears would follow if I'm alone. Until Maya was born, when she cried, I would hold her and cry. When I first came to Malta, the Chinese took me to the casino. I didn't gamble and didn't play much mahjong at home. I worked the Chinese restaurant, so they go into the casino. That's understandable. Not many people used computer in that time. Many Chinese who have been in Malta for many years do not speak English. Casino is good place to relax. After work, I follow their car to the casino and sometimes stay until morning. I don't know whether crying in the dormitory or staying numbers in the casino which way better for the fetus. But I want to live. Play in the casino let me mind not to think too much. This is the way I could find at that time to survive. Thank you to Ning from Tianjin, who bought me new clothes and some daily necessities when everyone else was avoiding me, and then told me to ask his boss if it's okay to work there. The next day I went to this restaurant called El Fana on the beach, and it was the first time I met Jasmine. I asked the boss, can I work there? He said, you are pregnant, right? I said I'm going to make an appointment after giving birth and coming. And he said, come back then. I take that as a yes. I'm still working in this restaurant. Don't chat with colleagues. They more or less heard my gossip. I cannot explain the truth and the rumors are different. Recently, a Canadian Chinese actor committed a crime, but some people keep saying the victim is not perfect. I deeply sympathize with this 19-year-old girl. Protecting my body was the most important thing at the time and nothing else mattered. I only got 60 pounds per month at the restaurant. The rent was 75 pounds per month. 3 months into my pregnancy, my family sent $4,000 from home to Malta. I won $4,000 at the casino. At my original thousands of dollars of life from home is still enough. Working in that restaurant wasn't about the money. I need to with people. I go crazy if I'm alone at home every day. Breakfast and lunch have to be done on my own. I usually skip breakfast because I wake up late. Lunch is usually McDonald's or pasta. I can find food carts in every district in that time. I found strawberries, blood oranges, and lemons for vitamins, and black plum which I like. Maltese blood oranges and the prickly pear are delicious and only available in Malta. Mary went out of season to buy me some prickly pear last time in Malta. At that time, many people thought Chinese people went abroad because their families were poor and had no food to eat. We need to pay a lot of fees to the agent. Most people need to spend a lot of money to go abroad, not only buy a ticket to go in that time. The 2 friends I went with, they come from rich families. Most people go out want to learn the advanced Western culture and experience, then come back home to develop. China is growing rapidly and there are more opportunities to make money. My boss kept trying to get rid of me, but I couldn't get a job anywhere, so I had to stay there. But I was in the kitchen that day, then the boss told me to go away. I stay at home on the 7 days. I feel like the baby is coming. Probably more than 12 noon to call an ambulance. After about 10 minutes, I walked to the ambulance and drove to the road waiting for more than half an hour. The car came. Maybe ate too many hamburgers. The baby was too big, 4.2 kilos. I feel very painful and kept screaming. 2 nurses have been comforting me. Fortunately, the baby came into the world about 2 p.m. I have to consider the food in the hospital. Then choose English tea with milk and toast. Both are hot food, which can keep my tooth and the stomach away from the cold. Chinese eating habits are different from most places. I think Japanese and Korean can accept cold sushi while most of us only like hot meals and soup. The baby was so big that they took her to a room for special monitoring. There are about 7 or 8 babies in the delivery room, and she was the heaviest. I was probably one of the smaller ones. Fortunately, the baby is healthy and active and very cute. I'm talking to my doctor about going home. The doctor felt that I and the baby have nothing to do after examination. Baby born 3rd day we went home. When I returned home, I bought ginger and high-strength wine in advance and took a bath. I drink brown sugar ginger water and chicken soup every day to replenish my strength. We have the custom of taking a month's rest after giving birth, or 42 days. During this period, it's not allowed to go out, and some things we can't do, such as eating spicy food and doing strenuous exercise. I support mothers taking care of ourselves after giving birth, but I don't like too many taboos. I like scientific parenting. I bought all the pregnancy and birth books since my first pregnant. I'm feeling I'm a professional myself. I didn't panic when I gave birth to my first baby. When the doctor and the nurses saw how calm I was, they told me to go home and wait until I couldn't laugh anymore. Until I explained that I had emergency symptoms. They took me into the delivery room in a panic. Since the birth of my first child, I plan to hire a nanny to take care of the baby with me. There is no need for the elderly to help, because old and new ideas have conflict. I don't want to fight during the month. The first baby was delivered at Liuzhou Women's and Children's Hospital, where breastfeeding is promoted. Natural birth will be an hour after the baby born to wipe the baby in front of the mother to let the baby begin to suckling. Many people will think that the mother did not have milk and necessary action. But I think this is first intimate contact between baby and mother. The pain of birth turned to ashes. When I saw my lovely baby pouring out of love, began to thank God for giving me an angel. Years later, Maya gave Jingjing the English name is Angel. I've been breastfeeding exclusively until to 4 months. When the medical advice was to breastfeed exclusively at 4 months, and now it's until 6 months. I think it may be mothers now have a rich diet, can support all the nutrition of their babies for the first 6 months. I became men's baby care staff after. When I have time to share some of the interesting stories and tips I have, I named my baby Long Xing Ying, and her nickname is Ying Ying. In fact, her current Yang, the phonetic transcription of Ying, I filled in the wrong name in the birth certificate. I had to run into a lot of trouble because of my poor English. I'm so sorry to Maya, but don't feel too bad about it. Your sister is Xin Yi now. I changed her name to Zhang Xin Yi because your grandfather's last name is Zhang. Xin means warmth and carnation. But your grandmother went to the register to film in Long Xin Yi. Long is the grandmother family name. It's the meaning of the dragon. Xin also means joy. But too many people use the name Xin Yi, and it's not special enough. Xin Yi is the third most popular female baby name in China in 2020. Brother Xing Yu is also happy and have a cosmic mind, the meaning of prosperity of universe. Having experienced an unhappy childhood, I want my children to live a happy life. Thanks for a Maltese couple who gave me their beautiful pram and some tried products before Ying Ying was born. Maltese people are so kind and warm in need. When Ying Ying was 20 days old, I couldn't wait. I didn't want to stay at home any longer. So I pushed Ying Ying in the stroller to the Alfana restaurant. I reached out to Jasmine again and asked for the job. He before answered me be joined to Ying Ying lying there. He circled the plane 3 times, his eyes full of admiration and affection. It was a bit like the 7 dwarfs coming home to see Snow White. He started asking me questions like how long Ying Ying had been born, completely forgetting about my work. It took a while. He told me to come next week. I said I need to work now. He said he had made the schedule and I had no choice. I went to work the next week with the agreement that a friend would take care of Ying Ying. That evening, Jasmine called me out of the kitchen. I came out to see a beautiful, demure blonde lady smiling at me. Jasmine formally introduced me. This is his wife. I don't know what's going on. It's my first time working in European restaurant. Or maybe to introduce both wives is etiquette. I don't have time to think about it. There's so much I need to learn. My job is to do chores in the kitchen and collect money for Chinese takeaway. I was already able to pronounce Chinese dishes in English, but there were too many takeaways customers at Alfana. Anxious up when I kept on the cash register on the decimal point behind the 0. There was a dish tens of thousands pounds of error. Jasmine did not blame me, but comforted me that it does not matter. He had to go tax office to explain and deal with my mistake. A few days later, I try again after he's done one. He has to go tax office again. He joked with me that if I did that again, the police would come to me. After a few days of work, one evening he wanted to talk to me. I was a little nervous and didn't know what he going to say. He told me that my wife really wants to help you to take care of the baby. She likes baby very much and will take care of them very well. Please rest assured. I don't know how to answer. Told him to wait a moment. Back to the kitchen to ask Nee. Nee said, you have to ask him how much money. Yeah, I haven't even asked the price yet. Then go to ask him, how much do you charge? He stared at me with a meaningful smile and said for free. I ran back to tell Nee. He said for free. Nee said that let him do it. So we made an appointment that his wife Mary would pick up the baby next day. The next afternoon, I waited for Mary with milk bottles and baby supplies. She drove up in a big SUV to load everything up. Then she strapped Ying Ying to the car, who was sleeping in her baby seat. I asked her how about tonight. She told me she'd take her to the bed at night. I'm working later and the baby need to go to bed early, so I said yes. That night, because baby was not with me, I did not sleep all night. The next day, I don't have car, could not go to see Ying Ying. Our two homes are not far away, but I could not go without transportation. From morning, I was waiting news from the baby. Early in the afternoon, I went to the restaurant wait. Thanks God, Jasmine opened the door. I asked him how the baby was. He said she was very good. She woke up last night and fell asleep after drinking milk. I didn't know what to say, just touched my Guanyin Bodhisattva and prayed for the best. In the following days, Jasmine gave me good news every day, saying that she was very good. One day he happily told me that the baby drank the milk and slept the whole night. It's finally time for me to take a break and see the baby. The baby has grown up a little. I can see she has been well taken care of. The baby loves to laugh. Expression and action better a lot. It's a growing state. It was a mixture of joy and guilt. The guilt of not having time for the baby and the joy of the baby growing up. Holding the baby, eyes are full of tears. But the baby did not understand and give me a smile. The baby has always loves laughing and does not cry much. I don't know if I shed her tears, and that made me happy, but I can't go back. I can only keep moving forward, keep trying to get up. Cannot lie on the ground waiting others to pull me up. That's when I decided I had to stand up and be able to take care of my children. There are a lot of things to learn. First, the language. Second, I can't do the kitchen work because it's very easy to get food in China, so I didn't learn to cook before. When people think the Chinese everyone cook food delicious, I will smile meaningfully. Chinese will hungry if they don't cook abroad. During that time, I learned to carve with potato, and I even learned to toss a pot, which is throw up the dishes in the pot. But I have little strength, only can do it few times. Trying for half a month, I decided to give up. I knew I would never be a good cook. Early in my pregnancy, before anyone could see it, I had a weekend job at a Chinese restaurant. Boss is a couple from Xi'an. I didn't know put the dishes in the sink and wash them with running water, and they said, "Well, you haven't done any work before. The business is very good on weekends. Sometimes 50 or 60 people coming, but the material just for 30 people, which makes them in a hurry. The typical mom and pop model is men cooking in the kitchen and the woman is serving outside. At this time, when the woman came to the dish, she would complain that the man did not have enough material. while the man was angry and threw down the spatula and yelled. What I can do is take the chicken out of the freeze, soak it in hot water and then wash it with hot water. Tear a little bit by hand. With some vegetables, we have 2 or 3 plates, at least to keep the customer stable. So the husband quickly to stir fry. The wife also happily take the dish out. They thanked me very much and give me a big tip. When we had dinner together after the guests left, a few months passed. Mary cautiously called me one day and asked to have coffee with me. I thought she was going to talk to me about something important, so I was nervous. She ordered 2 cups of coffee and sat there without opening her mouth. I also drank the coffee in silence. After a long time, she seemed to summon up the courage to tell me that she wanted to adopt Maya. I said I knew they had a better status than me. They could take better care of Maya, but I am Maya's mother, and I could not let go of that feeling. I know it's selfish, but even now, if I think of never seeing Maya would bring tears down my face, and I just can't give up hope. I'm so sorry to Mary, Jasmine, and Maya. Then I stopped working at Alfana and took the baby with me to a women's aid agency in Valletta. It may have been like this for 10 days. And then Maya suddenly developed a thrush and cried all the time. I was in a hurry to prepare to take Maya to the doctor next day. Mary called me at night and asked me how Maya was. I replied she was not well. Mary immediately said she wanted to come in to see her, but my place is locked after 9:30 p.m. She can't get in and we can't get out. We arranged for her to come next morning at opening time. The next morning, she rushed in at the door open time. Tears came out from her face when holding the baby. I can see how much she missed and worried about the baby this day. She took baby home straight after seeing doctor. I rented a house in Pujuba and moved there, which meant it was a long way to go work in Alfana. Work time is 4:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. I will be out 2 p.m. make 2 bus transfers from Pujuba to Valletta, then from Valletta to Massaskala. I usually arrive at restaurant half hour to an hour early. My OCD makes me feel safe by arriving early. Now transportation is often first in line. Then sit on the small steps opposite the restaurant to learn English or stare into space. Maybe this pattern leads some people to see an opportunity. That afternoon, I sat on the steps as usual, my backpack at my feet. Suddenly seemed to hear a voice behind. I looked back to see a big hand grabbed my bag and ran forward. I followed forward. There is a road next to the restaurant, a steep climb. This is the only way from Massaskala to the rest of the city. The man ran up the hill. I ran up with him, shouting for help. But the street was quiet, nobody. A car is parked there. The man jumped quickly and the car drove off. I tried to trace up the hill, but it didn't work. The car just disappeared from my sight. I went to the police a few times to identify people, but I didn't get my stuff back. The restaurant closed at 12 a.m. When there were no buses, I found a private owner who was willing to ride me every day. He only charged me £5. a ride which is only 1/3 the price of taxi. His name is Joey. After learning about my experience, by daylight he free of charge took me to many departments, asked them to help me. And lucky I get a brand new VCR and a TV. The help they give me little by little give me hope in life again. I got my drive lessons in China 1992, but it doesn't work in Malta. I need driver lessons for work. I spent many days studying for my driving test, and finally got my lessons for Malta. Jasmine has helped me pick out a 70% new Seat. I told Jasmine I got driver's lessons. He drove the car to the restaurant in the afternoon. He backed the car out after work that night and handed me the keys. I asked if that's it. He said, "Do you have a driver license?" I said yes, and he said you can go. I drove home that night with a lot of trepidation. One night I was driving home as usual on an uphill road when I heard a bang and was rear-ended by a car. I panicked and got off the car. A handsome man came down from the car behind. He called the police, and I picked up the phone, could only call Mary. The man could tell I was nervous and kept reassuring me, and told me to walk to the safety area, wait for the police. Maybe police and Mary arrive at the same time. I told Mary the situation in body language. I don't understand what she said to the police and the man in Maltese. I'm just relieved to know she's here. After a while, Mary let me drive back. If this gentleman see this video, please forgive me for not speaking at that time. Sincerely, thank you for your help and concern to me. I wish you all the best in the future. One small thing comes to my memory about the police. Once I was walking in an area there was water on the ground, and a police car came by. The police immediately picked me up and took me to the bus stop. There was other thing about the accident. One day, after I take Maya to Lua, I went to the other way. I drove on to a beautiful harbor, which is the end of the road. I have to turn around, but it's not easy to turn around on the dark. When I found something was wrong, I got off the car and was surprised to see that a wheel and a quarter of the car was suspended in the sea. My car was suspended. I could see only a few houses on the shore. In this time, a lady came running up. When she saw this scene, she began to shout with Maltese, and suddenly more than 10 people came. They worked together to lift the car back, and I didn't say much the whole time, only say thank you. I'm very sorry I have no sense of direction. I never found the place again. If you are one of the people who helped me, please let me express my deep gratitude and tell this group of people who helped me my sincere gratitude. I told the social work I was looking for a full-time job. They said I wouldn't get any money if I worked more than 20 hours a week. They looked at me in surprise when I said I still want to be paid by my work rather than on welfare. To this day, I'm glad I chose to stand up instead of lying on the ground. If I have been on the door doing nothing, may become more and more decadent, can no longer make myself strong. Summer has come and Malta has entered the busy season with many tourists. A friend from northeast China was cleaning the room of a holiday hotel. She told me they need a cleaner. This job is a challenge to me. It takes a lot of speed every day to clean more than 10 rooms. When I see something dirty, I rub a rag over it for hours. I work very slowly and clean a room much slower than others. Every day at work is like a war. Fortunately, my manager and colleagues are satisfied with me, but I need to make other plans soon. I will never be a good cleaner. I started looking for jobs in the newspaper and paid special attention to the beauty massage section. There are lots of job offers in the newspaper for the spa every day. Maybe it's fate. Finally, one day I summoned the courage to use the translator made a recommendation. Letter sent to Riviera Hotel. I didn't have any hope, but I got a call from Claudia. We made an appointment to meet at the spa. I walked into the Riviera Hotel, found the spa, and met Claudia. She is a beautiful and well-educated lady. Later, I found out that she was the same year as me, and both of our Chinese zodiac animals were pigs. I told her unconfidently I had no problem with beauty, manicure, and massage. But my English was really poor and can't get better in the short term. She comforted me. Customers come from Germany and France and lots of different places. She only spoke Maltese and English. It means language, not problem. The funniest thing is she learned Cantonese bad words from nowhere. I also learned a couple of Maltese bad words in return. After a pleasant interview, I made an appointment for work. Now I have to introduce a video blog who's living in China.
Incredible culinary skills, from dancing noodles to sugar art. I even hear to pass the test in China's top cooking schools, you need to have some incredible knife skills, phone or camera, and these apps that make you look flawless. They know the best angles, they always take multiple shots, and they've mastered the group pose. People here get pretty dressed up for everyday shoots, but for their wedding photos, it's a whole other level. It's really quite impressive. We're also really good at responding to a crisis with a cup of tea. No matter what happens to you, whether it's good or bad, a cup of tea will be offered to solve the problem.
I have got the best news.
Oh, let's celebrate with a cup of tea.
My dog's died.
Oh, I'm sorry. Come in, let's have a cup of tea. Which brings me quite nicely onto my first point. We may be really good at offering a cup of tea, but the Chinese people are great at pointing out that you should drink more hot water. Hot water cures all ailments here in China, even on a piping hot summer's day. You can find hot water in lots of places. You often get offered it at restaurants, but there's also machines in airports and train stations, so you'll never be without hot water. It is the go-to drink for Chinese people. But obviously, there is more to it than that. The Chinese believe that hot water offers medicinal effects. It helps with your digestion, releases toxins, and circulates the blood. I thought getting offered hot water was a little bit different at first, but after living here for a little while, I've realised that nothing beats a cup of hot water, especially in the Beijing winter.
In that time, I always drinking hot water when I get to work. Claudia always says horrible. My friends who have seen me in real life should not be surprised to see my photos. I'm Chinese and I certainly know how to make my photos look good. So there are many misunderstandings between the East and the West that need communication to solve the confusion. which is what I want to do now. That day I came to the spa with a feeling of unease and excitement. At the front desk was a beautiful lady with blue eyes and brown curls. She has a smile that makes others feel warm and sunny. She told me her name is Lina. Her job is reception. I give my first client a therapy, maybe it was a massage. Guangzhou Bone and Injury Hospital. Internship out of the technology can't be bad. I'm confident to do very well. After the treatment, the guest gave me a postcard saying that I had done a perfect job. She felt relaxed and thanked me very much, and included £2 in the tip. I was so excited. It was my first time to treat a foreigner in a foreign country, and I really needed recognition. I couldn't do a lot of work that I tried and broke me down. I feel Lina happier than me. I know she did a lot of work for communication. She is so enthusiastic to help me. The following time, more and more such customers. Sometimes my tip higher than the salary. Both make money and gain confidence. I really enjoy the interaction with the guests during the massage. I always think the best thing I do professionally is beauty massage, followed by early education. I haven't had beauty massage for many years now, but I often miss those days very much. I miss the aroma candles and the relaxing, elegant music. As I slide my fingertips over the customer's body, we embark on a strange interactive journey. I will do a video of beauty massage when I have time. One of them is an impressive German lady who comes to Riviera every year on holiday and asks me to give her a full body massage. Lina told me that she wrote a letter to the hotel manager, saying that every year after I give her a full body massage, she stopped her lower back pain for a year and could continue for a year. I don't think I have superpower. Maybe just use special technique, relax her in a way that relieves her tense muscles. Thanks for Riviera. This work has given me a quite confidence boost to at least know that I'm not a total loser. I said it was hard to find food early in Malta, but I made up for it at Riviera, where the food in the canteen is so good. Pasta with cheese is served almost every day. The rice with cheese and the tomato sauce. The chicken legs and wings were delicious, and my weight started to soar in that time. Riviera only works part-time, so I also do part-time job in other hotels' spas. I have worked as a massage physiotherapist in 7 5-star hotel spas. All have been highly appreciated, which let me enrich my life and get a lot of experience. Another client's story I had like to share. When I opened my beauty salon in Melilla, I got an appointment for a house massage. Malta is an island country and has many beautiful beaches, but I believe that is the most beautiful one. Their villa is quite close to the beach. The villa is supposed 3 floors, and we had massage on the 2nd floor. They are a beautiful young couple. When I massage in front of the big glass outside the blue sky, this clear and pure picture into the fingertips. I feel I did a good massage that day. After the massage, the beautiful girl brought me a bowl of chicken soup. It was the best chicken soup in the world. I have lived in Guangdong for 8 years and enjoying Cantonese soup. I also make some nutritious soup myself, but the soup I had that day was not same. It was somewhere between our soup and the clear soup. It's probably a skinned chicken as the main ingredient, with parsley and some Maltese vegetables and leaves. Chicken not greasy, with parsley and leaf is very nice. Joe, the handsome manager of the spa, helped me with my work and let me take Maya to the spa. At a 5-star hotel spa, I met a lovely old lady named Lucy. She is Romanian British, lived Britain 50 years. She teach me and help me a lot. She even asked me to give her my bank card number and remit a lot of money for me. When I asked her why she did this, she said she didn't need the money too much, but I need. She also teach me how to relax, which is to smile and open mouth as wide as possible for a few seconds, and then close it, which she say is relaxing. We used to walk the beach and talk, just like mother and daughter. It's pity I lost contact with her after I returned to China. I tried many times to call the number she gave me in the UK, but the person who answered the phone said she didn't know Lucy and I missed her so much. I don't know whether I can find a way or something. It's difficult for me to send and contact a foreign country through mail on Maya's birthday. I tried to send things from China for several years, but Maya never received it, then I stopped. In the first few years after I came back, it was very difficult to make phone calls, and the call to Malta very expensive. At that time, I basically had to buy a card. I would stop talking for 100 yuan after only a few minutes. Sometimes I had to buy a card for 500 yuan in order to make non-stop calls. Now I can use direct international calls and not very expensive. I can also contact Mary through Facebook. It's no need to worry about this problem anymore. But I can't get a Twitter account. Maybe because I use a mainland Chinese phone number. On January 31, 2021, I met a Romanian-American couple who had lived in Malta at Hangzhou Xiaoshan Airport. I was waiting for the flight at Starbucks in the airport, and they sat next to me. We started talking. They also lived in Pujuba in Malta for a few years. We talked about Malta life together, feeling the same excitement. They prayed for me at parting. Thank you so much for that and great for life. Really can't believe that there is such a fate. We have on earth is round. Every no 6 people can meet a friend, I really believe. Some people may not experience things like me in their life, but I have so many miracles, and the one who is blessed by God. Maybe I will say some bad things as I make more videos, or tell some stories that some people don't like to hear. But people of Malta, believe me, please. I will never change my love for you. People who have helped me, please believe me. I would never do anything to hurt a Maltese, and I would never want to hurt anyone. Thank you for your support and love, but just thank you really not enough. I want to repay you and pass on the love I get. That's one of the reasons I made the video. I don't like to show myself to be pathetic, feel that it's very shameful. The more helpless, but will show the stronger, so it's really hard to get help. But Maltese people see my fragile heart, and the appearance of pretending to be strong. Little by little warmth made me soft, and I don't have to stand up thrones like a hedgehog at. I will live a good life with a grateful heart and your hobbies. The subject matter of Malta photo in front of this video come from Baidu, because I rarely took landscape photo before, hoping to let friends who has not been to Malta see the beautiful scenery of Malta. The latter part is the scenery of Italy and Spain, and the video has some photos of former friends. If any friend doesn't like to show up, please contact me. I will definitely delete or mosaic it as soon as I know the information. It's the first time to the video is very nervous. Please support. Thank you for your helping to support my friends. Please believe I never forget your kindness and never forget. I believe God will see your kindness and generosity will make your whole family healthy and happy. Wish all the best to you all. Blessing from Yun.